what's going on, guys? This is Kek back here with another Animal Jam video, and in today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about the hidden animals on Animal Jam and Animal Jam Classic. Now, what I mean by this are animals that were announced by HHQ to be releasing at some point, and then also animals that were kind of, you know, jokingly revealed, but I think would actually make actually good animals in either Animal Jam Classic or just Animal Jam Play Wild in general. Now, first here, I'm going to be talking about ostriches. Now, ostriches are already an animal in Animal Jam Play Wild, however, they were announced originally in Animal Jam Classic. However, these were never actually released. I have no idea if there was like an animal model made up for this or anything. If so, it was never data mined and I've never seen it, but these were originally revealed in an animal voting contest. Now, I believe it was with the falcon and also the sloths, and the sloths and falcons obviously both won over the ostriches and were also released in the game. Now, back when this took place, most people were actually presuming that the ostriches would end up being released afterwards as well, after the sloths and falcons came out, because it really just said which heartstone should the alphas search for next, and you know, their last remaining one was the ostrich, so it would kind of just make sense that it would be released, and they never ended up releasing the ostriches, unfortunately, for Animal Jam Classic anyway. Obviously on Animal Jam Play Wild, the idea of ostriches did live on, and you can play as the ostrich on that game. But I think even nowadays it would be cool to see the ostrich come back and finally be in Animal Jam Classic after all these years. And who knows, maybe this might actually happen now that, you know, Animal Jam is apparently having more people work on the game now, because they haven't actually had as many people work on the game because they were working on other games, but they've moved more employees over on Animal Jam Focus now, so maybe we are getting more updates and possibly new animal or even the ostrich on Animal Jam Classic. Now, next up is the kangaroo. Now, this is all pretty alleged from what I know. The information I gathered on this when I was researching for this is all alleged, and it's just taken by word of somebody else, pretty much. According to this person, I don't know who they were, but they're pretty much able to bring up a debug menu on Animal Jam Play Wild for the PC version of that game, and they were able to see a bunch of, you know, game mechanics that you shouldn't usually see and only developers really can use. And not only that, they apparently saw kangaroos in Animal Jam Play Wild. Now, this is just kind of like a swapped kind of situation. Like, kangaroos are in Animal Jam Classic, but they're not in Play Wild. Ostriches are in Play Wild, but they're not in Classic. So it's just a big old switcheroo here, it seems. But kangaroos allegedly were supposed to come out in Animal Jam Play Wild and never did. Now, if the person that did say this is telling the truth, then they already have the animal ready to go and they just haven't released it yet. Maybe that's because the animal was actually, you know, revealed by this person before it was even revealed by HHQ, and then they ended up scrapping it because of that, or maybe they just thought in the end that they didn't want to end up releasing it. Either way, you know, there is, you know, AJ Jump, which was an old, you know, mobile app made by Animal Jam. I'm pretty sure that came out even before Play Wild, that has a kangaroo model pretty well done on that game, so they could probably just port that model over onto Play Wild. I'm pretty sure everybody would be happy with it as well. It looks pretty good, and obviously just for that game alone, it was pretty underused in my opinion. So not only would it be a good throwback back to AJ Jump, I think it would also be a cool addition to Play Wild, and maybe that's something we can hope to see someday on Play Wild as well. Now, the next few animals here, these were April Fool's joke. These were April Fool's jokes that Animal Jam posted on their Instagram page on April Fool's, obviously, and these never ended up coming out, obviously, but most of these are extinct animals, and one is just like a kind of a sea monster. I don't know, but obviously first two animals here, the dodo and the dinosaur. Now, the dodo I don't really have much doubt for because it looks a lot like the toucan, and maybe that's where they actually strayed the inspiration for the toucan here, because the toucan did come out afterwards, but it looks a lot like this dodo on screen right now. Obviously, it was jokingly listed as 100,000 gems and posted on April Fool's Day on the Animal Jam Instagram page, so people kind of knew that, you know, this isn't going to come out. But at the time, everybody was saying, oh, this will never happen because, you know, extinct animals will never come to Animal Jam. And lo and behold, we got two extinct animals back in the day. We got the saber-tooth and the direwolf, which, you know, gave a lot of people hope that, oh my god, we could possibly get more extinct animals. And I really hope that, you know, in the future that we might get extinct animals if Animal Jam does start to release new animals for Classic now. And that brings us on to the Tyrannosaurus Rex, which was also an April Fool's joke, but I think this artwork is just cool alone, and they had like multiple arts done for it as well. I think they're pretty fantastic as well. I just think it really meshes with the animal creation screen on here anyway, and I think it would be pretty cool to see it in game. As for how it would look, I don't really know. I mean, there's been over the years, you know, mock-up designs like one on screen right now made by editors around the game. I don't know if it would look something like this, but obviously more tailored to the art design. I imagine it would look quite similar to, you know, the art that was actually done up. I mean, we've had weirder animals in the game, and we've had animals that don't look the best released before, so I don't think that would be a block to actually release these anyway into game. Now, the last one here, I'm just covering this one because for the sake of covering, really, since I covered the other two April Fool's joke, but this is of the Kraken, which is a sea monster. Apparently it's real. I'm not too sure about that, but I don't really know a whole lot about sea animals. However, the Kraken, it obviously looked a lot like the octopus anyway. That's kind of why I was like, okay, that would never happen. But I mean, we've had animals that like look exactly the same, and they were released, and we have like what, 3 different types of horses, you know, of these special types of animals, you know, that were released. I don't think this would be too far-fetched if it ever came out to even just reskin the actual octopus and just like make it look like a squid head and give it pointed tentacles. I think that would be pretty cool, and it would give more of a reason for people to use underwater animals. I mean, if it did ever release, I imagine it would happen on Play Wild initially instead, especially with a bunch of rumors on that game going around about underwater lands coming to that game. But I think any addition would be a cool addition at that anyway. But especially for all these, you know, prehistoric animals that, you know, are ancient and extinct as well. A lot of people, you know, they like to bring up the logic side of things, but I mean, well, first of all, this is Animal Jam. I don't think we can, you know, talk about logistics in here. I think logic's been thrown out the window a long time ago in this game, especially when we saw, you know, spring bunnies. You know, it's a bunny that has flowers on it. I don't think that's very logical or based on anything in real life. Not only that, we have ancient animals now anyway, with the direwolf and the saber-tooth, and obviously there's a bunch of other things you could point out that aren't logical at all or realistic at all. So, you know, maybe this is just hopeful thinking. Maybe this might happen someday. I don't know. But I think this was a fun thing to cover anyway, and kind of a history thing on all the April Fool's jokes they usually do for these kind of animals anyway. They didn't do one this year, but they did one for like a pet avocado, which, you know, that's kind of a different thing. But this was fun to look into again and kind of reminisce on. Hopefully this could be some kind of nostalgia for you guys. But that's gonna wrap up the video here, guys. Make sure to subscribe with notifications on if you guys do want to be notified on future videos, as well as videos just like this one. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy today's video, and let me know what you thought of it in the comment section below. What was your favorite animal out of this video? Gotta say, mine is probably the dodo. I just like the artwork a lot, and I just find it very nostalgic anyway. But I'm excited to see what you guys think, and I will catch you guys in the next one.